How you doing, Wayne?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Thank you for coming in and sitting down with me and Ramel. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, not a problem. It really blew me away whenever I heard you had the podcast. I was like,
Really?
You're kidding me.
Yeah,
You jumped all in.
yeah, I did.
That's pretty cool.
It's one of those. It's one more thing in the way of me using again.
Well, it lets you put two hobbies together anyways.
Yeah,
Recovery and
Yeah,
wanting to get into the video and stuff. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Little known fact that I used to do video when I was in high school. I don't ever talk about it, but I actually made a movie and it went into like the high school stuff.
Right.
I don't know what it was called at the time. I was in it for about a year or two, and I just remember us having this teacher that was. I remember The Matrix had came out, and if you remember on the original Matrix, that camera angle where I think it was what's his name, Neil, Keanu Reeves, goes back like that, and you see the bullets
all
flying.
the bullets fly around him.
So to make that happen, he was all ecstatic about it. So he wanted to try that. So there was another group of kids that remade that movie. I made Gone in 60 Seconds.
You were an AV kid, huh?
Yeah, I like that stuff. Yeah,
Gone in 60 Seconds. That's another really good one.
yeah. So it was pretty cool. How many days you have?
Oh, good Lord. I wish you didn't ask, but I got just maybe 2 days into 7 months, I think. Yeah.
Why do you say it backwards?
Why did he say it backwards? He says that 2 days first. I was like, oh.
I did that a lot of times. I've been asked how much you got. I say about 24 hours and 3 months.
You like messing with people.
You like causing a fuss.
Yeah, he does.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Yep. How you wouldn't be Wayne without it?
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It truly has. It's actually just now getting easier. I have my thoughts every now and then. Like I've got a thought that keeps creeping up on me every now and then. Like I know my wife's leaving here, and I've got her going up see her parents here in about 3 more months, and I keep thinking, man, I better stick close to to people that don't drink.
It's some meetings.
Yeah.
Definitely,
It's definitely this recovery is something you got to work every day. And I tell you, it's my brain, it sees chances. It goes, you know what? You could drink and get away with it. And I'm thinking, no, I can't because I'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they ever do go away. I think they probably get further and further apart from each other as you get time. But like I get them all the time still.
Right.
It's insane. But so when did what's your little bit of your background? You said you were born and raised or split time in between Bakersfield or California and Arkansas?
Right. I was brought here from Arkansas. My mother left my father when I was about 3-4 years old, I guess. Well, it had been before because I had 2 or 3 other brothers. And so she moved up here. Well, later on, my father found out where he was finally after we lost one of our brothers. They tracked him down, told him, and that's when we got to start seeing our dad I think I was like 9 years old. Started shipping us back and forth. One year we'd spend here, the other year we'd spend there in Arkansas with my dad. And I didn't like it too much being shipped back and forth. It was a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Was there a big difference in your living conditions from California to Arkansas or vice versa?
Actually, there was kind of, excuse me. As far as living difference when I lived with my dad, as long as I didn't go out and get in trouble, I could drink, do whatever I wanted to do at my dad's. My mom was a total different story. She was church, God, you got to be there. Church doors are open, you're going.
Yeah.
Which I look at it now, I think, man, that's the best thing she could have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, I hated her for it.
Of course.
But yeah, that's just the way it was growing up. I never really clicked in with other people, if you know what I mean. They had their little cliques with everybody. I never got along with anyone. I always got along with the girls.
Yeah.
But that was it. Other than that, I was fighting all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you start drinking young then?
Oh, yes, I sure did. As a matter of fact, I had a brother when I was 12 years old pass away, and at age 13, I was drinking. I found out drinking was, and I was drinking. I was one of the first ones of our clique to ever start drinking. Everybody else smoking their pot. happy to stand at the store asking somebody to buy me some beer.
Yeah.
Little hey, mister, huh?
Hey, mister, heck yeah, I'll buy you some beer. I knew a lot of bums on the roads, man. They'd be
Yeah.
more than happy to buy it.
Yeah.
As long as you get them one, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. You know.
So at a young age you start, and then do you remember what it was like the first day or the first time you tried it?
I loved it. First time I tried it, I remember it.
Like your first kiss, huh?
It was. I'm telling you. I didn't get along with people. I mean, I was the little guy. I was maybe 100 pounds at the most when I was at school. I was a little tall, skinny guy. And I had a mouth on me that you wouldn't believe. I got in trouble a lot by everybody. It never ceased. I couldn't keep a bike at school. People would steal it, throw it away, or it just a lot of things in my childhood that I remember was just stupid. It was me hoping the best to get along with people that I never could get along with, and hoping to fit in, but was never able to do it. But when I found beer, I found my place, and it answered a lot of questions for me back then, you know.
Yeah. When did you discover that you may have a problem? I mean, obviously, you probably didn't know it then,
No.
but where was that in the timeline?
I guess it was when my mother figured out that my mother was, all she did was work. So we had, when we all lived with my mom, we raised ourselves.
Free time.
Mom did her job didn't let us starve. That was her job.
Yeah.
You know, that was it. We couldn't come crying home to nothing. We could never get her to do anything, go to anything for us or anything else, you know. It was really depressing. No wonder I found alcohol so early, you know.
Yeah.
And but I tell you what, still to date, I had the best time of my life back then.
I guess so. Were you in a lot of like clubs and playing sports and all of that in
No,
school?
I hated sports. I hated it. As a matter of fact, we used to get drunk, go down there to the college down there, cut their nets and everything, and use them like trampolines. High as hell, man. We hated everything there was doing sports. Just because I always said, one of the guys that were there, he became a big time football player for the Oilers, Houston. Was it Houston back then?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Anyways, he went playing football for them professionally. And I always said the only reason he got any good at that game is because he chased me every day after school to beat my ass.
You had to hone those skills somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But by God, I could run. I think 9 out of 10 times they'd never catch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what age do you think you were when you figured out you had an issue?
The first time was when my mom figured out that she could not handle us no more. And my last 2 years of high school,
Last 2 years.
she said, "You're staying with your dad. You ain't coming back to Taft." Which, if anybody knows anything about Taft, that's all there is. It's so small, you know, once you get in a clique with somebody like that, you ain't getting out of it,
No.
you know.
So you end up going into the Air Force, right?
Yes, I did, only because my father was in it. Me and him was identically alike. That's why I couldn't stand to be around him. We were
Really?
just identical, man. In the ways we looked and everything else. But he was a jack of all trades. He did everything, you know. So as early as I could, right out of high school, I remember last year of high school, I worked a job whenever I get off school so I could buy my first car. And then before I got into high school, I signed up to go into the Air Force, which was an amazing story by itself. Because all through school, I hated school. I got Fs all the time. And my dad, believe it or not, my last year of high school, he told me if I got straight A's, he'd buy me whatever car I wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he believed you were going to do it.
He did believe it. I didn't believe I was going to do it, but I did it. I actually quit doing a lot of things, and I hunkered down, and I did everything, but, you know, sometimes you just can't catch up to everything.
Yeah.
English was my worst subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got all A's and 1 B.
Well, so you could do the work. You never never
That's
applied
whenever I
yourself.
proved myself that I could do the work. And that's whenever I was able to get into the Air Force because of that last season of grades. And that was the first time I ever been proud of myself, you know.
Really?
Other than that, I've always been, and it goes way farther back. You know, before we even moved to Arkansas, my mother was with a guy that used to beat us, all of us. My mother used to beat us all the time. There wasn't a time, I don't remember being young, that we didn't go to school with whelps on our back all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way we grew up. And then all of a sudden we're thrown into this society where you got to get along with people. We didn't know how to get along with each other,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Every time you spoke up or said something, it was you were getting whipped.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, you didn't, kids weren't to be,
Yeah.
exactly, you know. Yeah,
Seen, not heard, huh?
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Do you think you've carried a lot of that still with you till
I
today?
still do. I still do. As a matter of fact, I see it myself today by the many times that I've beat my wife, and you know the things that alcoholism brings. I've done it. You know, alcoholism and everything else. But like I said, when I joined the Air Force, I'm already on top of my game. I promised the Air Force I'd never smoke dope again as long as I was there, and I didn't. But by God, I honed the drinking down.
Yeah.
That, you know, you got in the Air Force, at least in Arkansas, at 18, you could drink. Once I got in the Air Force, I could drink all, you know,
Yeah.
you can drink in the Air Force.
Anywhere on
you know.
base, right?
Yeah, anywhere on base. And that's what I did too. Whenever I wasn't in school or doing something else, you know, I was drinking. And I tell you what, you hone a lot of stuff because a lot of people drink and it just turns into a big game, see who can drink the most and
Yeah.
work the next day,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That's a big accomplishment, you know, to drink and then be able to go to work or still
It is.
still say, oh, I can handle my stuff. I'm still taking care of my things. You know, a lot of times I know that I've used that as a crutch, that I was an alcoholic because I still handled all my business. You know,
Right.
I still went to work. I still did the things I was supposed to do. And, you know, I did them, but I probably didn't do them well.
Right.
Yeah. Society's measure of a man, right?
Yeah.
Bills are paid, food
Yep.
on the table,
Provide.
providing,
Yeah.
everything's all right.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the Air Force, anyways, one time I got in trouble. I got drunk off base and got in trouble. You get in trouble off base when you're in the service. You're in trouble
On base, yeah.
So, anyways, they ended up checking into my details, wondering how much I drank and everything. Next thing I know, they threw me in the hospital. I'm like, what the heck? You know, here I am, 20 years old, fixing to go to medevac to a hospital for drunks, it was crazy because they put the drunks one floor above the I don't know, the psycho people, the
Yeah.
crazy people.
The mental.
Yeah, that way they didn't have too far to go once they freaked out. Yes, and I've seen some stuff back then, man. It's crazy, but that's the first time I ever had any idea that I may have been an alcoholic.
Really.
And even then, they put me through a 3-month program of being, you know, just time out away from everything. And even then, I was thinking, you know what? I'm too young to be an alcoholic. There's no way.
Right.
You know, I didn't believe none of it. When I got up back of service, they said, well, you ain't going to your meetings. You ain't doing this because they keep tabs on you.
Right.
And I said, well, just get me out because, you know, I was going to drink.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care what. This no drinking life wasn't for me at age 20, 21, 22, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was the first time I ever, in my life, ever had a problem with it.
Yeah. And so you've been at this trying to quit for a while then, huh?
Not really. I never really wanted to quit. You know, people want me to quit. It's two different worlds. I've had troubles. I'd go to bars. I'd wake up in the back seat of my car. At least I wasn't dead. I'd be bloody, you know. And, you know, in Louisiana, you go to a lot of weird bars.
Oh, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those bars.
And here I'm still only about 110, 130 pounds tops in the service.
Yeah.
You know. When I drank, I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, I guess, because I got in fights a lot. Even out of school, I got in fights.
Did you?
Yeah. It wasn't until I was about 40, I guess, when I decided, you know what, I really like my teeth. I've been losing quite a bit of them lately.
It took you 20 plus years to figure that out, that you liked your teeth?
Yeah, it sure did. And you never really, I don't know. Anyways, I drank and drank. It's just all part of the oil field. When I was in the oil field, I ran rigs, you know, and that's just what we did. We drank, get off work, drank. Hell, when I first started, we was drinking on the job. We always had ice cold beer inside the coolers.
That's right.
And I never really liked drinking the hard stuff. Well, I'm going to lie. I'm lying now. Never mind. I do remember. I do remember liking my mixed drinks when I was younger.
Right.
I like the whiskey sours.
Yeah.
And anything having to do with whiskey, I liked it as long as it was mixed.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my later years that I liked to drink it straight.
Yeah.
Give it to me out of the bottle, nice and hot. That's
Yeah.
the way I want it. Don't put no ice on it.
Warm it
Oh,
up
God, I
in the
couldn't
car.
stand it. Yeah.
Leave it in the car in Bakersfield heat, Taft heat.
I just went down quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to say no ice because I didn't want it to melt and,
It
things
ruined
like
the
that.
flavor as far as I was concerned.
Well, then everybody would tell me, you're not the type of guy to let it melt. Like, it's not going to be in my glass long
Yeah.
enough for that.
Right.
All right. I guess you got me on that one. Yeah.
Oh my God! But yeah, it's been a battle of it's. I look at it now, and I was always trading one addiction for another. Because I was talking to Sam earlier. I was telling him about the one time I did quit alcohol, and I never at the time when I quit, I never even thought I was an alcoholic then.
Right. You're just going to take
I
a
had
break.
just shot my brother with a 12 gauge because I was beating on my wife, and he decided he wanted to come in there and get involved in this.
Sorry to laugh, but why'd you shoot your brother?
Because he got in the Family Matters.
In a family matter. Next thing I know, my brother comes in the door, starts throwing me off my sister, my wife.
Okay.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was mad at the world, man. When I drank, I had days where I was mad at the world. I'd get up and I'd just, oh my God, I don't want to face this day. Anybody got in my way, I just want to fight. Some of my best friends I've met in life was over a fight that we've gotten into.
Really?
I'm not kidding. It'd be like, it's always the short people. They're always fast.
Yeah, they
really
are.
fast.
Yeah, they are. They hit hard. They hit harder than you think too, for some reason.
Right. They are. They're fast, man. They're like little spider monkeys. Some of them. But that's
So you were
always
you were trying
breadwinner, working.
you were trying to quit then? Right after that?
No, I was upset. I'd shot my brother. I know I'm fixing to go to jail. For some reason, cops never came. Nobody ever heard a shot. My brother sure wasn't going to say anything. We picked the buckshot out of his leg. He got better. It was no problem. But that night, a girl, next door neighbor, offered me, she goes, "Come here, I got something for you." I was like, "Well, yeah, this is going to make you feel better." And she said, "It's methamphetamine." I said, "What? What's that?" I should have known what it was, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I've seen my brother go through it. I've seen him lose his children over methamphetamine, but I really didn't know what it was till I did it. And when I found it, I found God. I want you to know, I was going over Grandma's house saying, "Grandma, here, try some of this, man."
Oh my God!
You were
From
spreading the
family.
word.
You were spreading.
I was
the word.
spreading the joy, man. I've become a firm believer that this was a new savior, man.
Oh man!
Oh my God, it got me away from the alcohol for quite a few years. But then it took everything it ever gave me away 3 times over.
Yeah.
But
Head over heels for it, huh?
oh my God, I just fell for it.
Yeah.
First time I did it. And you know what got me away from that? I got so pissed off at the scene, the tricks you had to do, the games you had to play to get the stuff, all the conning and all the BS that went with it. And then finally one day, I couldn't get my fix the way I wanted. I was like, "This is ridiculous. I'm doing this, and this all the time. Nothing but a complete circle." I had a boss one time. He paid me in dope, paid for my rent, gave me dope, and gave me a paycheck
Wow.
because I coped so well.
Yeah.
I could work so well when I was doing dope. And I did his work from about 7 years, I guess.
Jesus.
I'm trying to think. The only reason I got away from that, I remember that. He decided to make my dope dealer my tool pusher. I was not having that.
Yeah.
I was not, this guy thought I was really friends with him. I used a lot of people back then.
Yeah.
I didn't care about nobody. It was all about me, and it's always been about me. I've been married for so long, and I've never gave a shit about that woman that I can ever recall until I started getting sober.
Really?
She was just there. She was just there. It's all what life's supposed to be. She was there.
Yeah. Yeah, we get caught up in that that life of going from one thing to the next, trying to figure out how to get your next fix, figure out how to get your next drink. I know that last couple of years when I was trying to quit drinking, my my wife, I had already been in the hospital for pancreatitis, and so she knew I was already, she knew I was drinking, and I was supposed to be done with it. And next thing you know, she's seeing my card being ran over here, my card being ran over here. So she was like, what's going on,
Right.
So it was because of that, there was a game plan that had to happen every day to figure out how I'm going to get my drink, so nobody will find out,
Right.
and when I'm going to drink. It was the same thing. Do you experience that then with meth?
With meth, oh my God, that was my favorite love of my life. She took me on a ride forever, but yeah.
Yeah.
Did
it happen like that for you too with alcohol, or no?
Alcohol was always my go back to.
Yeah.
It was just, I knew what alcohol was. It never did give me the high that meth did, but it fast forward time for me in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's kind of your baseline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, I used it every day in order to, to kill time in between work and,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It was your road dog.
What's so now you got a little bit of time under your belt. Is this the longest you've had?
Oh, definitely. Well, no, I take that back. Whenever I quit meth, I have decided to serve the Lord.
No.
And that was whenever I think I was, let me see, I'm 55 now, so I guess I was about 43 years old when I quit meth.
It's about 12 years ago.
Well, I'm 56 now, so do the math. 10 years ago, whatever it is. And I decided to serve the Lord, which I did until, when you do it as a religious thing and you start, I don't know, to me, I start feeling like I was judged. I've been to, I've taught Sunday school and everything else, and I just never really fit in. Always felt like I didn't fit in with the religion.
Yeah.
But I do believe in God.
Yeah.
And I always have, because my mom introduced me to God years ago when I was a little kid. It's always been part of my life. It's always been my go-to when something's goes wrong. But I never. He took me off meth like that. I mean, one day I decided, you know what, I've had enough of this. I was ticked off of the scene. I was ticked off of playing these games. And I just went from one extreme to the other. Bam.
Oh.
And then one day, I'm still serving the Lord, but I remember me and my wife took off on a trip to South Carolina, and I had to fly back by myself. She was going to stay there with her parents a little bit longer. And I had a couple of drinks on the plane. That's all it was, two whiskeys on the plane. And I remember I had 2 whiskeys on that plane, got to an airport for a layover, had 2 or 3 more whiskeys, and it was just, I was an alcoholic.
Just back at it.
And it never even dawned on me then, why am I doing this? It just, right then, I'm back to where I was just instantly. And it still didn't sink in. So here I am, alcoholic. I'm drinking all the way home. The airport, apparently, they won't serve you drinks after they think you've had enough. I didn't know that. I found that out. But anyways,
that's why
blows me away.
That's why they say, that it's progressive, because even though it's not, even though you may not be using alcohol, it's always, they say if you are an alcoholic, and you're in recovery, alcohol's outside doing push-ups, waiting for you. It's still building, it's still growing. It never goes away. And then when you get back to it, you don't go back to starting out like you did when you were 13, when you first started. You go right back where you were, if not a few steps ahead.
That's exactly what happened to, and I didn't see it. It took me getting sober to see it.
Yeah.
And really, That was right before COVID, about a year before COVID, and then COVID kicked in, and it was on. I had to have a bottle every day, just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whether I was at work or not.
Yeah.
I had to have a bottle in order to stand straight, you know.
Yeah.
It's a sick thing. It's a soulless thing. It's miserable is what it is. And I didn't know how miserable I was until I finally got a little bit of sober time. And as a matter of fact, whenever I went to a,
Yeah.
I was there, I think 6 months. For 6 months, I kept wanting to drink. So finally, I done graduated 3 months out of the program. And one day I just said, the heck with it. I went and had me a drink, and it lasted me a couple of days. I was drinking and found myself drinking one bottle after the other. It wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And I just decided, apparently I had enough in my head of knowledge to where this wasn't no good for me because I quit it again. I just ended up getting another sober date, which was fine with me because it ended up on a 24th, which the same day my birthday was. It made it a lot easier to remember. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, you seem like, when you first graduated, I was there,
Yeah.
and you never know when somebody. I didn't think you were gonna drink again, but it still seemed like you had some pent up anger. Within yourself, it seemed like you still were resentful towards whatever you were resentful for.
I am.
I don't know if that's true or
I can
not.
tell you what I'm resentful for. I started drinking at an early age, and I drank to drown out memories of childhood. Childhood to me was nothing but trauma, and it's so weird how you turn into the exact same thing that you learn to hate through the years. You know what I mean? And you don't see it whenever you're in your what is sickness?
Yeah.
You don't see it till you
Till you're out, till you're
Right.
clean.
and you're faced with okay, well, when's the last time you were sober? I mean, really?
Squeaky clean sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's your childhood trauma that all stem around that one guy in your mom's life?
Well, yes, that and the way we was raised was okay. Well, you're just going to eat and that's it. We didn't sit down as a family or nothing. Mom always worked. Stepfather always worked, so we always had the house to ourselves, doing whatever we wanted to do, which left us a lot of time to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And she raised us to where we were grounded most of our life, but we always left.
Yeah.
No one-
Well, how was
no
you-
one there
how was you
for
gonna
it,
know?
Right? Yeah.
We was grounded all the time. As a matter of fact, we would never got out if we wasn't so dang, what do you call it? Just hating life. We hated life when we was young. We'd do anything, get out, go get high, go get drunk, go do anything. That's just the way we lived when we were young.
Do you have a time that you remember, that you recall, where you were happy?
I don't. I really don't.
Because you said you were proud of yourself when you got those
Oh,
good
well,
grades.
that time, yeah. I was
That-
proud of myself then. That was a happy time.
That was a happy time.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's really getting it closer to adulthood there as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Oh,
already,
anytime.
You're already getting ready to take off to the service.
right.
Yeah. So when you quit, what was that the first time around? What was this last time, the first time you graduated from from group? What was your emotions and things? What were you feeling in those first 30 days of quitting?
It was horrible. It was roller coasters. It wasn't even a roller coaster. I hated life all the time. The only reason I was there at the beginning was because my wife had had enough. And I told her, you know what? In order to save this marriage and you're not moving away, then I'll go ahead and try this. So but it takes a little bit of time in order to say, you know what? I need to do this for myself. But it was horrible. I hated, at first, I hated my wife for putting me there. I hated myself for even being there. I kept thinking I'm the dumbest son of a bitch there is to even be here. I am so good at putting myself down. It ain't funny. I'll let the world do it for years. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
You know, I hated Wayne. I really did. I don't know how many times I tried to do as much dope as I could just to see if it'd get me close to death, you know, and it never did. Methamphetamine ain't very good at that stuff. I guess these days it is.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's
laced with
got laced
fentanyl.
with
got all that fentanyl in it now. Yeah, that'll do the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so miserable the first 30 days.
Oh, yeah. And it comes, you know, I drank as much as I could, I guess. I don't remember. I was a blackout drunk.
Yeah.
I remember getting off work daily. I'd like, just going to drink a little bit. Just going to drink a little
Yeah.
5 minutes, little pint. Just a little pint, you know.
Yeah.
This is all I'm going to drink. I wake up next day and how much did I drink? Oh, you drank about 1.5 gallons. What? Oh, God.
Jesus.
Yeah, it always starts out with just a little bit.
Right. And I worked the night shift, so I worked by myself and I could get away with it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that brought me to it is I spilled quite a bit of oil on the ground for my company.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. And I am so, I don't know, what do you call that whenever you're like what's the word I'm looking for? I would not let that go down as I was stupid and did that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not want to do that.
You wouldn't take ownership of it.
I took, you know, I was not going to let them think that I was just stupid and I let that happen.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
how
I said, you know what? I might be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
you needed
Yeah,
an
an
excuse.
excuse.
There we go.
Yeah. And, I tell you, my work was so good with me. They gave me a paycheck and everything, let me go through this program and kept me on. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of money on the freaking ground, you know.
Wow.
EPA had to be notified. Everybody had to be notified. That's how much I spent.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But by God, it wasn't me that did it. It was my alcoholism.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, shit, Wayne, maybe it was.
Yeah, it was. I know it was.
Yeah, it was, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there's so many reasons led me to recovery. It wasn't even funny. It got to where I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was that bottle. That's it.
Do you have a different outlook now?
Yeah, I do. I've got, well, like you, I got some things I'd like to start doing. Mine's a little bit more girlish. I want to take up sewing. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do that.
All right.
I've got me a little bitty sewing machine. I'm finally getting another one, but there's just stuff like that, stuff I can sit down and do in my hands. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
There's nothing wrong with sewing. My uncle, before he passed, when my dad opened up his first body shop, my uncle went and moved next to him, or had a shop next to him, and he was an upholstery shop.
Right.
So
That's-
people,
yeah, exactly.
they would go to him to do the upholstery, and my dad would do the full paint work and body work.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, he ended up passing away. But that is always something too that's always been on my mind to try and learn maybe later on
Yeah.
down in life. It's something I would like to try and
Yeah,
and
it's so easy
take
to
up.
learn stuff these days just by YouTube. That's
Yeah,
where I learned.
that's how I learned
had
how to
no
do
idea how to
this.
use one. All of a sudden, okay, well,
Yeah.
do it this way. It's all easy. You know?
Yeah. My that's how I learned how to do podcasts. I just started looking up what you need to buy,
Right.
you know, how to put it together, how to use it, and then all of a sudden it just started coming together, and then you know, next thing you know, it's so much easier than having to read a book.
You mean watching YouTube videos?
Study, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, but it just, there's a lot of knowledge out there that now is available and readily available. You know, my son, both of them have iPads, and they, you know, if they have a question, they don't ask mom and dad, they ask Siri on their phone. You know, that little computer, AI computer girl. And so they ask her everything, you know. So everything he wants to know, he says, oh, you know what, I'm going to look it up. And he just asks it, and it tells him what he wants to know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Saves a lot of time for me having to tell him I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
know.
Well, I'll tell him I don't know. Check on your, search it. And that's what they'll do. But, yeah. So what is life like for you now that you got 7 months as to where it was back then? And what are some of the things that you feel now and emotions and all that?
Well, as far as life goes now, I feel like I got to live life. I'm always trying to get things to take up my time. I don't want no steal time. If I'm always in Bakersfield. I live in Taft. I drive 30 miles here just about every other day, just so I can be doing something. When I'm idle, that's when like I said, I'm afraid when my wife leaves that I might decide to fall into idle hands.
Yeah.
But I'm just busy. I seem like I'm so busy nowadays as compared to what I was. I'd always sit in the backyard, I always drank alone, but only because nobody else bought,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally changed. My outlook on life's changed. I'm starting to learn to like myself. I've got people in every corner of me pushing me on. I've got AA helping me out. I've got therapists that I call upon. I actually talk to one once a week, and my family's all for it. I actually got my mother to go to something of mine finally.
Wow.
She went to that graduation with us,
Yeah, I saw
and that was awesome with me. That was the only thing she's ever been to of mine.
Really?
Really. That blew me away. I was so happy with that. Yeah. So recovery is just nothing more to offer than life, really. And for me, I've got to be constantly in it because I know me. I've seen idle time too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually those thoughts when they hit me is when I'm bored.
Yeah.
When I'm tired and when I'm bored.
Right.
When I'm by myself or when I go to work or on my way home from work, it just hits. A drink would sound nice, but I have to remember that pain and that misery I was in.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, sometimes
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just the pain and misery that you caused other people because, that's what blew me away about recovery. That wasn't the crazy part, is all the pain and stuff you did when you were drunk because that's expected.
Yeah.
It's all the thinking you could go back and just drink a pint or something like that. That was the hardest part to come across my head. Oh, well, I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. That's normal. All the stuff I did then was normal. That's a write-off.
That's Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a benefit of the rooms and being in those walls with people like us. You know what I mean? We get to hear people share, and we get to realize that we're not the only ones that we're doing these slightly outrageous things on a daily basis. Right.
Yeah.
Hurting the people around us, hurting ourselves. We weren't crazy. This isn't something, we're not that super unique one in a billion type of thing. Like, this is something that afflicts a lot of us. We all go through it, and there's a way for us all to get better if we want it.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those great things about being in those rooms. You're not as crazy as you think.
I enjoy being in them rooms. I feel like I'm part of something in them rooms just as much as the alcohol made me feel a part of something.
Right.
When I'm in a meeting, I feel like I am part of something, and I'm part of somebody's life, and they're part of mine. Right. And I listen to every story in there, and I tell you what, I have been just about everybody's place there, and if not, I sympathize with everybody.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hear your story and their story.
Yeah.
You hear those feelings that you felt and those emotions that you had when they tell their stories, or the feelings that they had. You go, wow, I didn't know somebody else felt like that.
The only thing that gets me is I wish I would have got this when I was 22 or 23 years old.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how they do that, Wayne, because a 22-year-old Ray Mel wouldn't have been having any parts of you telling him that he can't drink, smoke.
I was told I was sit down and I was ordered not to drink, and I wasn't having it.
Well, that's why, yeah, I mean, it almost, that's the problem with it, is that's the kicker, is that you don't know when somebody's bottom is going to happen.
Yeah.
You have no idea. There's nothing that you can say to somebody out there that's going to get them to stop.
It really isn't.
You have to go through it, and you have to be so desperate that you're willing to not drink and to try something different.
And it's hard to get, I won't say it's hard, but it's rare for your life to hit that rock bottom that early on in your life. Usually when you're in your early 20s, you still think like, things are bad, but they're not terrible. You might have got locked up, but you'll get out, or you might have lost your girlfriend.
This is my first DUI, but all my friends have a DUI.
Right.
So.
I lost my wife, but we've only been married a year. I probably shouldn't have married her in the first place. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And you get a little older and you start losing some things that took you a decade to get. And then you start looking at it like, oh, threw away that 10 years, huh? All right.
That, and you get tired of like Wayne. And if I'm speaking out of turn, I'm sorry. But I feel like you were just tired. And I think you've said it. You were just miserable, hateful.
Yeah.
Just not, and I'm not talking about to other people. I'm talking about yourself.
Right.
You know, you hating yourself.
Well, the way I did it is I hung around people that are just as hateful as me.
Yeah.
The guy that I looked up, I called him Papa. He was he's one of them guys you just did not walk up to in a bar. He was just hateful. That much, he looked hateful. You know, those are the guys I looked up after, man. Yeah. I wanted to be just like, I wanted to be a dirty old man, drunk, frickin', you know. But that's just the way I thought you drank.
Yeah.
And what time it turned into a sickness, I still don't know, because I was so sick into it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, all your years kind of just get jumbled together, you know, because you spend so much time blacked out. You know, how would you know?
Can you pinpoint yours, Sam? Can you pinpoint when it went from heavy drinking to alcoholic drinking?
So I drank in my early 20s. I've always drank since I was young, about 15, 16,
right.
Probably somewhere in there. And, you know, it was same thing, same feelings you had. Oof, this is awesome. You know, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, after I got married, you know, I still remember thinking, you know, I have a wife. I did what I was supposed to do. I got married when I was 20. So I got married. I bought a house all within 2 years span. I bought my first house, and I said, you know what? This is, you know, now she's going to pop out a kid. You know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to work every day. You know, and it started with me drinking. I used to drink 3 tall cans a night, you know, every night.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it still then wasn't an issue in that I had to go someplace and drink. It wasn't like that. It didn't get like that till probably in my 30s. When I got to about 30 years old, I don't know the day or the time, but I've always liked, I used to smoke a lot of weed too.
Right.
And then I stopped that. God took that away from me. You know, it was something I had prayed about and was like, just take it. I don't want it. It's making me, you know, I didn't feel good on it. I was always anxious, you know, and just always worried. So I was like, I got to get this stuff out. So I did, and it stopped. It just completely one day just didn't
like that.
Just didn't want to do it no more.
Mm-hmm.
But with alcohol, you know, I replaced it with that, and you know, I liked being high. I just liked being drunk. I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, and then one day it just stopped being fun. I don't know like the exact day when that happened, but it just stopped being fun.
Right.
You know, it was just no longer, it just became a routine and something that I just did all the time.
And it was progressive. Like you said, you had the 3 tall cans every night, which I think we all had those stages.
Yeah.
I remember the 3 tall cans being like a solid stage. You know what I mean? I'm just grabbing a battery pack. It's okay. You know, Did you start taking a shot from the liquor store at first?
Yeah, I started taking a shot here and there. I would just get them and take a shot and toss it before I got home. And then next thing I know, you know, I was miserable at work because work was hard. Being in the work I am, I wasn't a hands-on person like you probably are, but I was a manager, so I managed people, and we were in service, and we had service people,
right?
And you know, it got hectic. You know, we were dealing with insurance companies. Insurance companies, they because they pay out the claim, they want things done real fast and in a hurry and with alternative parts, and it's just it's a fiasco to try and you're trying to make the customer happy with insurance that doesn't doesn't want to pay what the customer needs to make them happy.
Right. It's hard to please
everybody. You're constantly you're always starting off on your back foot.
It sounded to me like you had a lot of people at your back damning you at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like that. So it was always mentally, it was tough. So it's not the hardest job.
Any kind of public service is a hard
job.
I don't see how people do it.
Yeah, but it was tough. So I would and then I just started one day drinking to deal with issues at work.
So drinking at work.
Drinking liquor.
Sure.
I'd put down a deal and then all right, I can make that phone call now.
Made work a little easier.
Yeah, it made it a little easier. And then, it got to a point where I didn't even like beer. When I quit drinking, I wasn't a beer drinker. I didn't like beer.
Right.
I wanted liquor.
Yeah.
That's it. And whiskey, vodka, whatever. I never really got into tequila, but whiskey and vodka, wine. I love wine, red wines, Merlots.
Only if I ran out and I had to start drinking the wife stuff because I couldn't drive to the store.
Yeah.
That's when I started drinking the wine and everything.
So it's just something that I did.
I always regulate what I drank by what brought me to jail. What I ain't drinking no more tequila. That was the problem. It was never tequila. Oh my God, I could never stand vodka. It smelled like rubbing alcohol, and I hated the smell of that stuff.
Yeah.
I got whiskey. I could swim in that stuff, I swear.
Whiskey was a pleasure for me to drink. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes I would spend extra money just so I can enjoy a higher quality of whiskey. I wasn't going to spend an extra penny on a higher quality of tequila or vodka or whatever it is because it disgusts me regardless of what it is. Still going to drink it because I got to make it happen. You know what I mean? But it was clear. I'm either there's two F's I'm going to do if I drink clear. You can pretty much figure out what those are. I'm going to fight or I'm going to, and then when I drink whiskey or some bourbon or some scotch, something dark, something rich and robust, I get real mellow. I get real cool. I don't want to fight all of a sudden. I want to sit back and talk and have a good time. Did you guys have adverse reactions to the liquor or it just didn't matter?
I was still the same type of drunk. And that's the other problem with me is that I never was a fighter or anything like that when I got drunk. I actually got easier to deal with.
Don't get me wrong. I don't remember ever wanting to fight either.
Yeah.
Here I am, a place I shouldn't be.
Yeah, you don't remember? It's because you were blacked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to that joke, if you ever had sex with a chicken. Have you ever had sex with a chicken? Guy says, I don't know. And he says, have you ever been blacked out drunk? And he says, yeah. He says, well, how do you know you hadn't had sex with a chicken?
Big facts.
That's pretty sick, man. Someone figured out if an egg would fit, then, somebody was that bored one day, wasn't they?
Yeah, I think it's just a metaphor, Wade. I don't think he did it literally.
There's a lot of farms out there. And,
I don't know, man.
Who knows,
Yeah, that's...
Oh, my goodness.
But, yeah, so now what are your thoughts? And you talked about it a little bit, but how are you dealing with the day-to-day? You said you keep busy. What are some of the tools that you use that we've learned to keep you away from reusing and drinking?
Right now it's the steps. I'm still looking for that spiritual. I can see it. I can see it happening. I see it in the way that I see it in the way I breathe anymore. I can actually breathe better. I got COPD, and man, there used to be a time where I couldn't even walk hardly up the stairs without dying of breath. Now I go to the gym. I can walk 4 or 5 miles on a treadmill, no problem.
Really?
But as far as that goes, I'm really looking forward to getting through these steps. I really am. Seemed like I got all the way to step 4, and anyways, my work schedule was hectic, so I ended up having to change sponsors. But he wants me to do it all over. You know, they want you to read with you and everything else, you know, which is all right. But it seems like, with me, it just seems like it's so slow.
Well, it may help you too with the spiritual side of it.
Right.
You know, it may help you because you revisit 1, 2, or 3. But how did you get anywhere on 4 at all, or no?
I wrote down a list of regrets, and then I put them away inside a desk, and it's still in there. I've shared quite a bit with my therapist, but I have yet to share it with another.
Yeah, of course.
Common person, you know.
Yeah.
It's easy to share with my therapist because I figure, you know what, I'm paying her. I just need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's smart.
Yeah.
What's his name? Lenny, when he was here, he said that he puts a asterisk by his if he'll write it out, his regrets, and then he'll put instead of writing it fully out,
right,
he'll put an asterisk by it, and that asterisk will, so that way he doesn't incriminate himself or say anything too bad. You know.
Yeah, I have also started writing down my day-to-days, what I do, journaling, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the things I've written down in there, I do the same thing. I won't put down. I just remember this.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
Give yourself a clue.
the only thing holding that thing closed is a little time. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I know that when I do mine, I don't want my wife seeing it. I don't want, I don't want anybody my kids getting it. I don't want that,
Right.
So, yeah, you just got to make it work.
Yeah, and that's another thing is it really blows my mind is I'm able to talk to other people and actually tell my wife, look, these are things I don't want to ever talk to you about, and I won't.
Yeah.
And she's actually okay with that.
Yeah.
Because you're being honest
She didn't want to
about
talk
it.
to me about it, I'd probably blow up.
Yeah.
You know?
How is your relationship with your wife now that you got a few months underneath you?
Well, I tell you
been what, 34 years?
I'm still blowing up every now and then from a chemical imbalance is what I call it, because every now and then I'll blow up for no reason. And I get so mad and irritable sometimes. I tell my wife, I said, I'm feeling a little bit female today, because I don't know where that come from. It just all of a sudden hits me. But and that's another thing. I'm taking Vivitrol, I think that's what they call it. I'm taking the shots once a month, and boy, I tell you what, that is a painful shot.
Is it?
It really is. To me, it's a firm reminder of where I'm come from.
Right.
I'm sitting on it right now.
I was gonna You feel like it helps at all?
Oh, it definitely helps. A lot better than, well, I did the pills there at first.
Yeah.
Naltrexone, I think they call it, when it's in pill form. And I always constantly want to drink. Always. I'd go to, I go in a store, I'd want a drink. I call them the butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it looks so good. Or something new would come out. Ever since I started getting the shots, I don't have no cravings at all. I can walk through the liquor aisle, no cravings at all.
Really?
That stuff is a godsend as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I know I'm using it as a crutch, but
for now,
as long as they let me.
You're supposed to. Yeah. I mean, you use that until you can get the tools
Right.
and work out whatever you got to work out.
Right.
Mentally.
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
Yeah. I still take it. I take the pills. I forgot what it's called, but I take 2 types of pills.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I take them every day, but I'll have a year in March.
Congratulations.
Congrats,
Thanks,
brother.
man.
Yeah.
I'll have a year, and the psychiatrist wanted to take me off of them, and I said no. I said, leave me on those suckers. I go, because I don't know if they're.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I said no. I said as long as you'll give them to me, I want to take them.
I know who Wayne is. I know what Wayne's going to do.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll feel when it's the right time. You know what I mean? You'll know.
I'll wait. I at least wanted to wait the full year, and so once I get the year, then we'll talk about it next time. I
think I'll know what I'm judging it by this. When I see an alcohol commercial that it doesn't come out with some new flavor of whiskey.
Good luck.
And, I'm not saying, you know what, that looks so good. Oh my God! Every now and then, something hit me. Like Royal Crown come out with a new flavor. Of,
Oh my gosh.
Every now and then, and I'm like, I love Royal Crown Royal when I could afford it.
Yeah.
No, that was one of my staples. You know what I mean?
That's my Christmas drink.
That and the Jameson right
Christmas.
there. Well, you don't watch sports, right, Wayne? I know you were saying.
Well, not really. No, not since I got money on the game.
There you go. Yeah. So the Super Bowl this year and the NFC and AFC Championship, all those games, Crown Royal spent a lot of money on a lot of good spots. And I'll tell you, I hadn't had any urges or anything like that in months.
Right.
And the way they were pouring that new Crown, that little perfect pour over that little circle ice cube, I thought I might have needed some of those pills. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel you with those dang commercials.
I think it always hits you no matter what. You know, I could have a taste, just a taste.
I was doing
technically
this thing.
you could. It just
I could, but I
you
know where it
won't.
put me.
What's
You
gonna
won't
happen
just have a
afterwards,
taste.
yeah.
I remember the coming home from the airport. That's all I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
They call it what they say, making reservations.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing not too long ago. Kind of like what Wayne was talking about, you know, like, all right, well, this is coming up in a few months and I could probably just do that and no one would know and I'd probably be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But realistically, I know that if I have that drink, I'm going to have another one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I put that out there, because I know that battle's in here.
Yes.
And if I put it out
Put
here,
it out there.
then that battle's no longer just in my mind.
And then you got to deal with us knowing when she's leaving. You got to answer our phone calls.
A lot of the sharing where that comes in.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. It's what's it called? What's that word when you put it out there so other people know, and it's starts with an R. How come I can't think of the word?
Recovery?
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
Part of recovery.
Reservation?
No, not reservations. It's I'm sorry, it starts with an R and A. It's accountability.
Oh yeah.
You put it out there so people can hold you accountable for it. We're gonna know when your wife leaves, and we're gonna know Wayne's by himself, and you're gonna have to answer to all of us because we're all text you, call you. What's going on, brother? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always good to put it out there.
Yeah, but you still feel it. You still that's going to be a weak point. I see it coming.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it. It's like we're looking at a roadmap. Okay, she's going to be gone. I got to fill in this area here.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that the programs do for you. You know, because I see a lot of, because I look at what people are searching for if they're looking for information within recovery. Mm-hmm. And one of the top things that people look for is, how do I quit on my own? You know, how do I quit by myself? How do I quit and not go to rehab?
Right.
You know, those type of things. And there some people, I'm sure, can do that. But for most, you've got to take that extra step and go into, if you have to go to rehab, go to rehab. Because I tell you what, the best thing I ever did was I didn't go to rehab, but I went to the behavioral hospital.
Right.
And going in there it got me on the track. It got me, like you were talking about earlier, how when you're in it, it's hard to see past it. You know, it's hard to see outside of it and think straight.
Right.
But it gets you to that point. One, it gets you to that point to where you can start thinking straight. The other great thing about it is you don't have to do it on your own.
Right.
And you got some they give you drugs to help you come off that stuff.
Right.
So you're not having the sweats, and you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you're coming off of it pretty quick. They're giving you fluids. They're doing all these things for you.
Yeah, you don't feel so sick.
So that's the other reason. So, and I don't know why I drank so that way I wouldn't feel any pain. So if I'm going to get off of it, I'm definitely going to go for a way to be comfortable. And it does. It helped me be comfortable. And then it gave me tools, and it said, okay, because the biggest thing for me was I saw a psychiatrist in there.
Right.
And when I saw a psychiatrist, they were able to put me onto the medications like you were talking about. And with that, those medications, now I couldn't drink even if I wanted to.
Right.
You know, so if you get to that point where you really want to quit, you should really consider going into a program or checking yourself into a behavioral hospital or a regular hospital and seeking professional help so that way they can give you, like, that medication is doing for you. That shot is, you're using it as a crutch. Well, you use that as a crutch, just
Right.
in the beginning, just to get you clear headed, get you some tools underneath your belt, so that way you have something to grab from. Because otherwise, I wouldn't stay sober if I didn't have the tools. That's the main thing. Is like what you said right there about putting it out there and being accountable. Being accountable, what you've done is you were given tools to recognize that you needed accountability, mindfulness of it, to say,
Absolutely.
I so you wouldn't have got that if you didn't go into a program.
Yeah.
And you have to see other people doing it. If you're like me, I had to see other people going through it too. I had to see other people thinking like the way I was thinking that I would never get off of it, and see them do it, and then, or see people worse off than I was in worse situations.
That part, I needed the stories.
Yeah.
I needed to hear the stories and the shares. Did you ever try to stop on your own, Wayne?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
It never. I might get lucky, and 3 days I've been pretty good. I think I'm going to have a drink.
I mean, that's what they say, right?
I could quit for like 3 days. Then it got to where I couldn't quit. I think, okay, well, I know I can't quit. I'll just try a little fifth or something like this. And it never freaking ended it. I don't remember how much I drank, but my wife knew. And it was
She kept
worst,
tabs.
Worst feeling in the world when you wake up somewhere where you should never be. When you wake up, your one you love the most is sitting there all black and blue and afraid of you. It's no place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds rough.
And she remembers all this stuff. I don't. I could laugh it off. When I did it, I was like, well, shouldn't let me get drunk, I guess. I don't know. I always tried to blame things on other people but me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we all used to do. You say stuff like, well, since I don't remember, well, you must have said something or you must have done something, and
But that's you, again, being mindful, because now you recognize that as saying, you know what, man, I don't ever take responsibility for my own actions.
Right.
And that's pretty awesome, because when you first got there, I seen you when you first came in, because we got there about the same time.
Oh, I remember the shakes, man. The shakes tore me up. I couldn't stand it, man.
You were all red, you were pissed off, and you were shaking.
Yep.
oh, man.
Didn't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Didn't want, so you've come a long ways.
Larry, he said, I remember your first day there. I said, good, because I don't. Yeah, I remember seeing you come through the doors with the family. I was like, good, because I don't.
Shit, Wayne. Earlier you said it took you a while because your wife wanted you to go in there, so you went in there. You know what I mean? You said it took you a while to want to be there for yourself. You know what I mean?
It did.
When did that kick in for you? When you're like, you know what, I need to do this for me.
Whenever I relapsed the first time,
Yeah.
right after that, I'm sitting there and I'm drunk and I'm just freaking thinking I'm right back where I was. This ain't nothing. I'm going to be drunk and I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do it again and again and again. And it just dawned on me that this is really it had to be that way. That's all there was to it. Sure, drinking's legal, and I've watched many of my family members die or some serious something of it.
Right.
And I just thought, that ain't the way I want to go. It ain't. I've watched my grandmother and a few other people die of throat cancer from smoking. I quit smoking, I don't want to die that way ever. And I look at that and I think, the first funeral I ever remember going to was my grandfather. He died of cancer also from drinking. And it seemed like a lot of people and suicides, all kinds of crap. I don't want to die that way.
Did you ever have those thoughts?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yes. And thank God I was always bad at carrying them out. I think a lot of times when I'd try it, it'd be more like a cry for help.
Yeah.
In my younger days.
Yeah.
In my younger days. I've always had it drilled into me when I was young. My dad was a Arkansas State correction officer. And he used to bring me to the prison with him, and he showed me exactly when I was young what would happen if I were ever involved in a DUI or something and somebody was injured. He'd introduce me to people at the prison, you know, Arkansas State Penitentiary, that since I was a young kid, and I've always known not to drink and drive. And a lot of times I didn't drink and drive because my wife was right there with me saying, no, we'll walk to the store together, or you'll go get it for me. But, you know, I've always been lucky in that field. But there's a time or two I've been caught driving. I thought about running it off at one of these hills or something.
Yeah.
You know, just one quick turk and be over.
So your dad tried to scare straight on you? He was like the original. He's the one who made it up. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I look at it now. I remember when I was in the service, he actually went down to Texas, drove down there to be in that program with me.
Really?
You know, side by side. And even at then, I didn't think it was a big deal. It ain't no big deal. Dad, what are we doing here? This is funnier now. You know, my dad was taking it serious. I wouldn't take it serious. It's that sickness, man. How come when you're on that side of sickness, it just leaves you thinking
it's smarter than we think it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's cunning, exactly.
It's very
like
cunning. It'll make everything that you're doing seem super reasonable. It'll make excuses for all the actions that you have, and it'll show you a promising romantic future with just you in it, and it'll make you not care about anything else.
And the biggest regret that I have as far as being a drunk is my father passed away. And he called me one day. He goes, look, son, I got cancer. And I said, oh, Dad, you're just full of crap. You're just telling me that because you want me to move back home with you.
That was the
He
response.
died within 6 months later of having cancer. I could not believe I said that to that man.
Really?
You know? And I don't know. He's always been there. All of a sudden, he was gone. And that's always been one of the most disappointing things in my life as far as I'm concerned about my alcoholism and everything, is letting that happen, letting him die pretty much alone, and, you know, just not being there for him. And he was always there for me, you know. There's all kinds of reasons why I should have quit alcohol a long time ago, but didn't. Never seen them, actually.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for you is that you've already said it, and that is that you didn't want to live. You don't want to live like that anymore.
Yeah.
You're tired of being mad at yourself. You know, what do I got to do? And I was the same way. I was tired of being upset with the job, upset with everything. And I look back, I had no reason to be, but you know, I got tired of doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
I got tired of having those same feelings, those same being in that misery, you know, just dwelling in it, you know, because I would dwell in it, and I would, and it would just leach off of me, you know, to the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was miserable to my wife.
Oh, man.
You know, I was miserable to
Have you seen a
everyone.
change in your wife since you quit drinking? I mean,
Yeah.
my wife used to always have this look of disappointment in her eyes.
Really?
Always a look of disappointment, but now it's no longer there. I don't see disappointment.
Good.
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
You guys.
Your point of view changes everything. Wherever you stand, your point of view changes everything.
Yeah.
It really
Same
does.
situation, different point of view, you're good.
It's crazy how, because you always hear that. I've always heard that, you know, it goes back to that little saying that people say, and that is, it's your attitude. And, you know, your attitude can how you view things, how your point of view is what's going to give you, you know, you just need to have a positive attitude,
Right.
you know, but positive view. And when you hear that, you're like, shut up, stupid. Nobody's happy. I used to think that. I used to think,
Right.
man, like there's nobody happy. If I saw somebody in recovery that was happy, I thought that they weren't really, that they were faking it.
Right.
The first time, you'll know who I'm talking about. I won't mention his name,
Okay.
but he was always smiling. And every time he came in, he's came back since. But he's always smiling, always happy. Everybody knew him.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and when I first got in there, he was in there, and he hadn't graduated yet, but he was close to it. And, he was just laughing, telling jokes. And I was like, what's this dude got to be happy about?
Right.
Like, there's nobody that happy. Come on, man.
Is he in the rooms now?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You'll know. But, it's just, it's crazy how the point of view part is such a big thing.
Because now you're the happy one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
I am the happy one. I am the, my dad mentioned that I looked like I was taller. And I said, no, Dad, you're just shrinking. You're getting old.
Something different.
Yeah.
It is
but what it
different,
is that I am standing a little taller for whatever. I didn't notice it. I'm not trying to. It's just something that has happened. And yeah, people can see the difference. You can see the difference in you, Wayne.
I can see a difference in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Big difference.
So when I came in the rooms all happy, you thought I was full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Which you were.
Not 100%, you know what I mean?
But you were still considering.
I was still considering the heavy drinker as opposed to the alcoholic.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That, and then you have also mentioned that the telling the truth.
Oh no, that's why I was so happy. Like being able to not have to lie. I used to lie
that's big
so much when I was in my addiction about where I was at, about what I was doing, about how much I drank. And then you do it so much that you start lying about things that aren't even important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't even have to lie about that. What was the point of that? You know what I mean? So that's why I was so happy at the beginning. It wasn't that I wasn't drinking or smoking or doing blow anymore. That's not why I was happy. I was happy for that release.
Yeah.
That I didn't just that weight of always having so much anxiety about not telling the truth all the time, because then you got to make sure you tell the same story sometimes.
Yeah.
I always said in there, when we're in group, I'd always, what do these people want to hear? That's what I would.
Before it was your time.
Time to get around to me. Okay, well here you go.
Right.
A lot of things I didn't want to share. Like I actually walked out. They'd start talking about childhood. I'd just walk out. But I'd come back and explain to them later, look, I'm just not into a group setting with this right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've come a long way since then. I'll talk about it now, but at one time I wouldn't. I just it just brought up too much painful memories,
Well, you said that was the reason that you drank so much, right? Was
right.
Childhood,
originally at first, yeah.
Well, that, and then you carried that on because you thought that that's the way that you were supposed to behave.
My family taught me. Family gatherings, everybody's drinking. As a matter of fact, our family gatherings, if there wasn't a good fight between our family, it wasn't a good get together.
Right.
Really?
Everybody must have not been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the deans are getting together. Well, gonna be some good fights tonight. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of passive aggressiveness in my family when it came to that, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
there was always tension, you know what I mean? Like things were always slow, good time, great time, tension for the rest of it. Right. Somebody said something, somebody did something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone took a shot at
back
somebody.
Up there with Bobby. What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bobby's my man. Oh, wait a minute.
Before we go, I wanted to read this. I had just found this when I was moving some stuff
What
around.
You got there?
It's one of the books that they give us.
Okay, yeah.
This one is Men in Recovery. What does it mean to be a man? And I thought, man, this is perfect because you were going to be here.
Right.
I said, okay, so it says, you may not have spent a lot of time thinking about your beliefs regarding what it means to be a man. For some of us, life up to this point has not involved any serious reflection about who we are as men. If being sober is your priority, you will benefit from looking at how your ideas and society's ideas about masculinity could interfere with your recovery. We learn rules about what it means to be a man from our parents, other family members, teachers, coaches, friends, and so forth. We also learn some of the rules about masculinity from books, movies, and television shows. Some of these rules may not be very healthy and productive for you, but some of them may impair your ability to fully realize your potential. So, with that, obviously, it goes into what you were saying about how you were brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that because you're doing some things that is probably or could be a first in your family. You are seeking help. You are not just in a recovery program, but you're also seeking help with a therapist. You talk to a therapist now. What does that mean to you? And was that something that your dad ever brought up to you? Or what do you see the biggest differences between you and the way your dad was or your mom was brought up and what they taught you?
What they taught me was what I thought didn't matter as far as my mom's side went. My dad, he was more what do you call it, philosophical or whatever?
Philosophical?
Philosophical, yeah. He always wanted to know, how was your day, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about it? What do you think about this? That's my dad right there, because he was, he's from the 60s, man. He still smoked dope. Best dope there was. He was top, But, my mom raised us where nothing mattered. As far as I was concerned, my life was shit. When I moved in with my dad, he wanted to know all this stuff, and I just more or less froze. I wouldn't talk. I didn't feel that what I thought really mattered, so I never would share too much, with my dad.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, Dad, let's go have some fun. Let's go do this, do that,
Yeah.
And like I said, he was a pilot. He did all kinds of stuff. He had a license to do everything from septic to, name it. He went to school for it.
Really?
He was just one of them smart guys I've always wanted to be and never could be, because I've killed too many brain cells through the years.
Yeah.
My idea of life was, how high can I get?
Yeah. What age were you when you said you got those last years or that last grade where you got your grades up? Was that senior year?
Grade. That was senior year, yeah.
So you're about 17 at the time?
Yep.
So what would you tell your 17-year-old self now? That happy self, when he was proud of himself.
I should have kept on. I would have said stay in the service to begin with. Don't get out of the service for any dumb reasons. I could have been retired 3 times over by now. But I guess I wouldn't tell myself anything, because it's something that you have to learn yourself. I don't think you could tell. I don't know how many times people tell me, okay, you're drunk, you're going to be a drunk the rest of your life. How many times people tell me that, and I think, no, I'm not. I'm just having a good time. I ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I thought was the thing to do. I go to work, I get to relax. I go to work, I get to relax.
Yeah, reward.
As far as what I should be telling them, I guess, is just quit drinking altogether. Just don't drink. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay in the books. And then I probably would have been just like my dad. I know I would have. And but I didn't. Those were disappointments in my life, but oh well. I'm here now. I'm going to pick up where I left off. I guess I'll pick up where I left off when I was that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's not much that you can say to somebody who thinks they have a problem or may have a problem. But what would you say to somebody who's thinking about quitting alcohol?
Do it. Do it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it's like I've heard said so many times, I've heard Lisa say it, if you don't like sobriety, you can always get your money back. You can always go back to where you was.
Always get your misery.
Try it. Just try it. I'm 7 months into it, and I want more. In 7 months, you wouldn't believe it. My credit score's gone up tremendously. I'm able to put money in the bank. I've got this little app that I look at, and it tells me how much I've saved. And I think to myself, man, that's a lot of money. I was never able to save money when I was, in my alcoholism. Never. Every penny went to every little cent. I wouldn't even think of saving. It's got to go on me now. It's got to go what I want now.
Yeah.
But do it. You have nothing to lose. Your family has nothing to lose, Anybody that's around you, your work gets better. Everything just gets better. Don't think about it one more day. Just do it. That's all I can say.
All right. Mm-hmm. You got anything else?
No, man. It's been great hanging out here with Wayne, man. I've been waiting to have a sit down with this guy, It's been nice, man. Appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate all I wanted was an address to see this. I didn't know I was going to be on it.
You did too.
I had no idea.
He said
you didn't know you were going to be on it?
He set you up.
I told you were going to be on it.
Well, no, whenever I asked you originally, Lisa brought it up. And I said, well, you got it. Well, give me an address where I can listen to it. He goes, no, you're going to come over Sunday.
That's how he gets them.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Roped you in. Yeah, so I appreciate you, Wayne.
Hey, I enjoy being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I enjoy you in the rooms. Absolutely. Keep showing up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Keep showing up. You. If this can help anybody, as mad as you were, and to have that switch, that switch in the outlook that you have now, it can happen for anybody.
Exactly.
Exactly. It can happen for anybody. So appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.